talk about something very important, which is the H1B transfer without check stubs. Can you transfer an H1B without your latest paycheck stubs? Well, the answer is yes, but it's very difficult. The way it works for H1B and the way it goes for H1B transfer, you have to have a bunch of documents in order to do that. First of all, in order for you to transfer your H1B, whenever you're transferring, you have to have two things. One, you have to have a new employment, and two, you have to have actually three things. Two, you have to have a time on your H1B unless you have an I-140 which is approved, and three, you have to have what we call basically show that you maintain status. Recently, the USCIS have come into play with the 2010 New File memo, where they basically talk about the employee-employee relationship, but not only that, but they have been very adamant on the fact that if you don't have a check stub, you probably didn't maintain your status, which is not really true, because if you look at the rules on termination on 20 CFR, there are three things that terminates an H1B status. One is basically the employer inform you that they terminated your H1B. Two, the employer basically report that to the USCIS, and three, they pay for your ticket to go back. However, having said that, USCIS is on the side that basically if you don't have a check stub, you won't be able to really get a transfer. Here we have a bunch of lists of documents that you might need for your transfer. You have to have your transfer approval, but a receipt will do. I repeat that, a receipt will do, the receipt number. Sometimes you don't get the approval from your employer. And then you have to bring your 3 check stub. This is the main thing we are talking about here today. And also you have to have your resume, your copies of your passport, diplomas of degrees, and if you have a credential evaluation, you have to produce that. You have to give copies of your I-94. Recently we have seen that the I-94 is now online. You can get it, but if you travel, but if you're not traveling, it will be on your 797 at the bottom of it. A copy of your social security card and a copy of your existing visa. You might need other documents. Mostly now they are asking also for documents from the company, if the company is small, to produce that they have money to pay you, etc. But here the big question, do you need a check stub to transfer? Well, first of all, yes, according to them, but there are some exceptions to the rules. For one, you can transfer, let's say for example you're working with employer A, and employer A is not paying you your dues, and you want to transfer. One of the ways to do that is to put a complaint with the Department of Labor that they have not paid you for work that you have performed. And under H1B LCA, even if you're on the bench, they have to pay you. So you might be able to use that to do your transfer, which we have seen in many cases. And three, of course, the easiest way, if you have a situation where you lost status, you go ahead and you do what we call a new employment, and you do a consular processing. Well, it's not that easy, because sometimes people don't have stamp on their passport, and that end up by creating more problems for them, because when they go to the State Department, US consulate, they have more problems. So bottom line, the question is yes, but there are exceptions to the rule. This is where a good attorney can help you. We have a good article on H1B transfer here on our website, and I'm going to advise you to read it. And also I will put a link of that on the bottom of this YouTube video. So I thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and anything I told you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. Thank you.